All right, so big news out of Disney. Well, from like months and months and months ago. Disney is opening up their 7th resort in Abu Dhabi, specifically on Yas Island. And wow.
Wow. Hello, earnings call. Is that you I hear?
Yeah, so this was announced on the day of their quarterly earnings call. Sneaky.
Yeah, it's not suspicious at all.
Got to impress those investors somehow, right? And this will do it.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
So Disney is working with the Morale Group, which is an entertainment and leisure company based in the United Arab Emirates.
So it doesn't actually seem like Disney may be footing the bill on this one. It seems like it will be the Morale Company. And I think that it's a safe comparison to the Oriental Land Company. So, you know...
Tokyo Disney?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're thinking like their Fantasy Springs Land, the Beauty and the Beast ride, the Jules Verne area, it really seems like there's like endless money in these corporations, which really just means, you know, good things for the tourists and for us.
And yeah, it's pretty objective at this point. Tokyo Disney seems to have the best lands and the best rides because Disney is not footing the bill for these rides, and the Oriental Land Company has a lot of money, apparently. And this is going to be a very similar situation. The Morale Group, if you're unaware, on the man-made island of Yas Island, they own Ferrari World, SeaWorld Abu Dhabi, Warner Brothers World, Yas Water World. They have like a mega conglomerate of theme parks on this island here, and now they're getting the big one.
I would say yes, queen to that.
Like, my God. So yeah, Disney is getting a park here, not paying a dime. Morale's gonna foot the entire bill. They're gonna build everything, and they're gonna pay Disney for the licensing fees for their IPs.
Exactly.
That's a win-win for Disney.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure they just saw dollar signs when they saw this opportunity.
And if you've seen these theme parks on Yas Island, specifically SeaWorld and like Warner Brothers,
no expense was spared, literally. Kind of out of this world what they've done here.
that SeaWorld Parks looks like one of the coolest things on planet Earth, and
I think it may be the coolest thing on planet Earth, actually.
it's up there. So yeah, you can see that this company, there is no budget here.
There is no budget
whatsoever, and
the budget does not exist.
And that could make for a really, really awesome theme park.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we took all of this endless money that the Morale Group has, and we decided to brainstorm what kind of awesome rides can go into this new Disneyland resort in Abu Dhabi.
Absolutely, let's speculate wildly.
We didn't want to get too crazy and pick every single ride the park should have, otherwise, you know, we'd be here all night, but we put together 4 lands with 14 notable rides.
Pretty comprehensive.
Very comprehensive, yeah. Of rides that we think should be going to this theme park.
And hope, maybe selfishly so.
If anybody from Disney's out there watching, or the Morale Group, pay attention.
Yeah, take some notes here.
Because we're about to do a lot of your job for you.
About to blow your mind. Alright, so first off, we do have this concept art, which we do believe you should immediately just like throw out and cast aside. Because we think it was just kind of a Hail Mary earnings call based artwork. But
put something together quick, yeah.
Throw it together
there,
quick,
yeah.
Make it look cool and futuristic. I think the centerpiece is something to consider because we do like how Abu Dhabi is very futuristic, very cool, very ahead of the times, and I think that they would want to showcase that in the park, which makes sense.
Absolutely, that crystally, spiral castle-looking thing, that's probably going to be there. But the rest of that park,
forget about it.
Are there like green, lush lands in Abu Dhabi that I'm missing?
Not that I knew about, unless they were fabricated, which again is possible.
And maybe they have figured out like air conditioning just over hundreds and hundreds of acres of land outside. Who am I to say they haven't?
Maybe they figured out theme park hydroponics. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing I just invented for Disney. So pay attention again.
The sun is something else they're gonna have to figure out, but who knows? Maybe they did
Forget it.
But assuming not, most of this theme park is gonna be indoors. It gets quite hot there.
What?
Like half the year, you cannot even be outside for more than like 30 seconds.
Well, there you go.
And all their other theme parks on Yas Island, besides the water park, are all indoors.
Yeah, so.
Mostly.
All right, so let's get into it. The first land we considered and partially made up in our head with hopes and dreams is Mythic Kingdom. We were kind of thinking Lost Continent, Lost Island, but we understand that we can't use those names because they exist elsewhere already.
Lost Continent, that's a cool name, but taken, unfortunately. So
we're trying to be clever here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mythic Kingdom, it's fine.
So one of our major motivations here was considering 2 Disney classics and also things that are just underrepresented in the parks that we would like to see either shows and rides of. So that was definitely a major consideration for us. And given Abu Dhabi, we naturally thought Aladdin would be a natural fit for this. And, you know, the mythic aspect of it, we thought Hercules would be great too, because that is definitely one of our favorite Disney movies ever, and we feel like it is very sadly represented all over the park. So we got to show it some love here.
Yeah, definitely. 2 amazing classics that can definitely hold an entire land.
Whole land, yeah, just to themselves.
Like, these are fantastic IPs, underrepresented in every single Disney park.
Definitely.
Like, it is time.
Give us Mythic Island. No, Mythic Kingdom.
All right, so first ride, the Aladdin ride that we were thinking of. An Escape from Gringotts type coaster dark ride that you have at Universal, but in the Cave of Wonders.
Like, it's sitting right there. How could you not?
Like, yeah, escaping the Cave of Wonders, like, after you touch the lamp, like, on the magic carpet, like, track tilting to the left, right, like...
Crap is hitting the fan. This place is imploding. There is mythical forces at work that we do not understand, and you gotta get out.
How has this ride not been built yet?
Right? Like, come on. It seems like so clear. It's like a mix of dark ride, a mix of coaster. Like, there's so many elements in that scene from the movie that lend themselves to this, like, perfectly. I just feel like from a creative aspect, it's like, it's already written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta engineer the ride.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And, like, pay the bill. That's it.
The bill's already paid for.
The bill's paid.
Yeah.
So, like, just engineer it, I guess. That part should be easy, right?
But yeah, it's escaping from that cave. Like, I thought about this ride ever since I was a little kid. When I saw that movie for the first time when I was like 4 years old, I was like, that would be a cool theme park ride. And here I am,
Absolutely.
30 years later, still waiting for it. So
Yeah. So, TikTok, let's go.
All right, so that would be Aladdin's e-ticket attraction. And for Hercules' side, we have 2 rides that would go very well into the Mythic Kingdom here. First off, like Congo Rapids ride, but themed to Hades and the underworld.
Ooh, spooky.
So yeah, like if you're unaware, like the underworld, like there's that like Death River down there, or whatever they
The
call
River
it.
Styx is
River
what Greek mythology calls it. Or the Death River, how Reggie calls it.
Yeah. And on like your journey, yeah, you'd be running to Hades. Like I see like the 3 fates in there.
Oh yeah, that could be really cool. And the gospel singers are also just an amazing part of the movie that could seamlessly fit their way into this ride. And I really would love to see the darkness paired with like maybe like a family thrill ride.
Let's make a sick IP-driven River Rapids ride themed to Hades and the underworld.
With a mythic river. So, perfect fit. Right, and lastly, for a perfect family attraction for this area, we were kind of thinking like a Mount Olympus Pegasus coaster, kind of a la Big Thunder. You know, so you could definitely go through, maybe I'm thinking like the clouds of Olympus and stuff like that, and you'll see chariots flying by and like different gods and different scenes like that. And it could be themed after our favorite flying horse, you know?
Absolutely.
So what's
And
not
like,
to love?
and like goes through like the mountain itself too, like kind of like how Big Thunder does. Like they're gonna need a mine train attraction, and this would be a perfect fit.
It screams perfect fit, I think, yeah. And people love Pegasus. I mean, at least we do.
And if not, they will learn to love
You will
Pegasus.
learn to love him. He's amazing.
Yeah, again, like these 2 IPs, just so classic, so amazing. Like they need to be represented in Disney theme parks.
Absolutely. I almost feel like we were kind of like overwhelmed with like the possibilities with these 2 IPs. So it's like even if the park doesn't use these, you know, I think that you could use Hercules and Aladdin to really kind of like blow people's minds. Yeah, and be crowd pleasers.
And the next land that we think should go into this park, every Disney park has their Fantasyland or Adventureland, Adventure Isle, whatever kind of land. And for this one, we decided to put Adventure and Fantasy together.
And mix together some classics.
All right, so first off, you take the classical Jungle Cruise ride, but instead you theme it to Peter Pan and Neverland.
Oh my god. The possibilities are endless. I just love thinking about being on a boat ride, going past pirates, mermaids, Native Americans, the Lost Boys, it's endless what you could do with this, and I don't. The idea of it definitely excites me. I think this is kind of like a perfect fit.
Absolutely, and like your skipper, like you could get different ones. Like one time you could get like Peter Pan as your skipper, Captain Hook,
Smee,
Tinkerbell, like
yeah,
different,
that's really cool.
like rewritability, like with like all these cool jokes. Like all these characters are hilarious anyway. If you know Peter Pan, I think Peter Pan deserves his Jungle Cruise.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you just take a Disney classic and a Disney classic movie and pair them together, and it's almost just like, why hasn't this happened before? It seems so seamless.
Right? Taking 2 Disney classic rides, combining them into a mega Jungle Cruise.
Absolutely. Oof, my God, I love it.
Neverland Cruise. Oh, we can figure out the name later.
We'll figure it out later. We'll workshop something.
Yeah.
Disney, you're going to have to do some of this work yourself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we haven't figured out the names of these rides yet.
Right. For the next ride in this land, we were thinking Sleeping Beauty. Again, kind of underrepresented. Like maybe she's got her own castle, but I don't think she has a lot of like attractions or shows. And she's definitely one of the most classic Disney princesses, so we got to show her some love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a ride that is, themed after kind of like a dinosaur style attraction. That movie is, I think, more epic than like people recall. Especially with the dragons and the fairies and the forest and Prince Philip rescuing her. There are so many scenes you could add in that could be thrilling and informative and exciting, and why not? It's a perfect fit for this land.
Yeah, and like the ride vehicle on like the dinosaur style ride, Indiana Jones, like that thing tosses you left and right, and that would be like really cool going through the castle with Prince Philip.
Prince Philip.
Is that Prince Philip? I get my princes mixed up.
He does.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fighting the dragons and like having like the fairies help you out, getting like knocked from side to side and like saving the princess.
Saving the princess. That's what it's all about, right?
Is there like a ride to saving a princess yet? Anywhere in Disney?
Yeah, maybe some general like. You get like your Snow White stories. It's just more storytelling, and I like that this would be more of like an objective for you. Like you feel like you're Prince Philip, and you have to go rescue her. I like that idea.
Absolutely, yeah. Like sounds fantastic.
Make it more interactive, make it more fun, and it's still family friendly.
But thrilling.
That's important. Yeah.
All right. Up next, we're going to another IP that also really much deserves a fantastic ride in a Disney park, Inside Out.
Yes, I think that speaks to like multiple generations too, because like kids are finally going through all that and adults get it, like we've done it. So that is something everyone can relate to.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like a trackless dark ride going through Riley's mind with like all the emotion characters there.
And her imaginary friend. He was hilarious and definitely relatable. What's his name? Bongo. Bing Bong.
Bongo Bango.
Bingo Bango. I guess we gotta look it up.
Like, you're gonna bring him up without knowing his name, so.
Yeah, sorry. I can picture him in my mind.
Elephant from Inside Out. Bing Bong!
Bing Bong, okay, I'm not crazy.
I think between us, yeah, we eventually
We
maybe
arrived
not,
at Bing Bong.
maybe not in the right order of words, but yeah. But yeah, an emotional journey through Riley's mind, trackless dark ride, like all sorts of like screens and practical effects. Like, come on.
Come on, everybody's gonna love that. That's a ride for all ages. Lastly, we in this land, we definitely think having like a Splash Mountain representation is important. And what's hotter than Moana right now, especially when you think about new Disney fans, something that could definitely fit into the water spectrum here. And just has, again, great storytelling throughout. So, damn, give us Moana.
Yeah, we have Splash Mountain, we got the Tiana version. Moana deserves a ride in a Disney park.
Absolutely.
And what would work better than a log flume attraction for Moana?
Exactly. So many kooky characters, definitely a lot of good storytelling, and kind of a perfect fit.
Exactly, yeah. And you want to know how I know Moana is a very popular franchise? The second movie was terrible. And it still made over $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, that was borderline unwatchable. But it still made that money.
yeah, that's all that really matters. So, yeah.
Exactly.
She's popular. All right, that wraps it up for Adventure/Fantasyland, or
Workshopping
the name.
Okay.
Probably just Adventureland.
I like that. It's simple and it's accurate. Yeah.
And we are moving on to Tomorrowland. Another world that Disney has everywhere, so this one's easy.
Exactly.
But with a bunch of brand new rides. Okay, so you know how Disney has Soarin' everywhere, the flying theater ride? let's make the vehicle for the ride the house from Up.
Oh my god, cute.
Very cute. And have that house soar over a bunch of different Disney worlds. And I remember when we were talking about this idea, she was like Disney World's like the actual theme parks you fly over, which is actually a very good idea.
Not a bad idea. So we have 2 ideas that you can choose from here, Disney, and you can take either one.
But I was thinking like actual like lands from like the movies, like you fly over Agrabah and Arendelle and like Pride Rock and
it's
all.
definitely cooler.
Definitely cooler, and they can make it look real. They could build like miniatures and do cool stuff with cameras. They've got the technology and clearly the money to make this look real.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I mean, like, the cast of characters from that movie is really fun too. Like, imagine like kind of like fake riding next to like Kevin the Bird. I would love that. I think it's very cute. You can start off in the Up world. You can start off in Venezuela where that movie takes place, and then, like you said, go into the other like Disney worlds. Not to be confused with Disney Parks, which is also a backup idea.
Yeah, so like a first-time rider would think like, oh, we're just gonna go through the scenes of the movie Up, and then boom.
It's everything. And for the next ride that we have planned for this area, is like a Baymax simulator. We actually just recently watched this movie again.
So
and
good.
So good, and we love that it's futuristic without being like, I don't want to say cartoonishly futuristic because it very clearly is cartoonishly futuristic, but it doesn't seem like out of touch. It seems like something like very achievable and very livable. And we were thinking maybe like a Spider-Man or like an Avatar type ride where you are going through the story. So there's definitely like a lot of cool live action scenes you could go through and lots of animatronics that you can make that I think would be really cool and interactive.
Yeah, it's flying through San Francisco with Baymax and the Big Hero 6 team you got, like just fighting tech crime or whatever it's gonna be.
It's gonna be tech crime because it's happening everywhere now.
Yeah.
Tech crime detectives. I don't know, there's a name. It doesn't make sense, but it could work.
Yeah, again, Baymax gets no love around the parks. It's amazing.
Really popular, I think, with a worldwide audience, which lends like a great aspect to this area of the world.
I know they love him in Japan.
They definitely do.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
we love him everywhere.
yeah, he's adorable.
He's cute. And San Francisco is super fun. I like that it combines East and West like in the middle too, which is like super unique. So
He deserves an awesome ride.
he does.
So Disneyland Abu Dhabi is going to need a thrill coaster because we said so.
Because we said so and we wanted it, and just give us what we want.
And yeah, so every Disney has their Space Mountain. So I'm thinking a hyperspace mountain here themed to the Fantastic Four.
Ooh, how cool and timely.
Hoping that movie does well.
We love you, Pedro.
I don't know by the trailer how well it's gonna do, but you know, we'll see.
But that may not even matter because it might still make money regardless. And Silver Surfer, that's really cool. I'm kind of thinking like a Silver Surfer ride vehicle, which I think is super cool. You're going through space. The Fantastic Four is fighting you because...
Oh, we're the Silver Surfer?
We're the Silver Surfer. I like that idea.
And we're
the
fighting the
bad
Fantastic
guy.
Four?
How about that?
I'm down.
Twist. Yeah, and Galactic is, I think, the main villain in that, and like he is just humongous and cool, and I can't imagine like the screens or even like the animatronic like head, almost like a Kong head that you can make of Galactus, who is literally like planet sized. So it's like, do whatever you want with that. There's a lot of cool characters that I think kind of have endless possibilities here with this ride.
Yeah, and they're gonna bring Marvel in somehow, some way. So
It makes that money.
So yeah, I think it should be something new
New.
that we haven't seen before. You know, so
Exactly. Still has a lot of potential. It hasn't yet been tarnished. So while we're on the topic of Marvel being included in this park and the renaissance that X-Men is apparently going to experience soon with the MCU, we were thinking, like, what about an X-Men drop tower? Maybe using Magneto's powers to kind of lower you and rise you. He's definitely one of our favorite characters, and I think it's simple, but I think you could do a lot of cool stuff with that.
yeah, so like this could be their Tower of Terror potentially, and like yeah, with Magneto, like he could be like pulling you forward and back, up and down, like all the movements.
I like the multi-direction. That's really unique.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of like Spider-Man would be good for this, but then I realized that Kong is literally getting that version
Okay,
of Tower of
that's really
Terror.
cool,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I was like,
him saving
like-
you with his webs.
I was like,
and
yeah, I was like, why does this sound familiar for some reason? And I was like, oh yeah, duh, Hong Kong is actually getting that right.
stuff. Someone already thought of it. Yeah.
So I don't want it to be the same, but X-Men for sure.
Magneto. Yeah.
And are we on Magneto's side, like fighting humans?
Maybe this could be a villainy area. I kind of like that. That could be cool, like a futuristic villainy area.
And Magneto's not even a villain. He's like an anti-hero, yeah.
It's muy complicado. I mean, if you're an adult, you get it.
So the X-Men's always going to be popular. I think this is a fantastic ride for like a Tower of Terror type deal.
Definitely. And they are making more movies eventually. I think those are like forthcoming pretty soon, like within the next few years or so. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense.
All right, as we finish off at Tomorrowland, we were thinking they're definitely going to need a shooting ride. And let's not make a Buzz Lightyear this time. Thinking back to recent movies that just came out, Lilo and Stitch. How about a Stitch shooting ride?
Yeah, and people love that little monster, so why not?
Yeah, and the ride he previously had at Disney was just a catastrophe. And pretend like that never happened. This little monster deserves a sick ride.
And a lot of that movie, you know, while he's not in Hawaii, does take place in space, so that lends to its Tomorrowland aspect.
Oh, it would be like his escape from like the galactic prison he's in at the beginning of the movie.
That would be really cool. And there's lots of cool alien creatures and stuff in that too, so I think it would be really fun for kids and adults. And
it would be funny to call it Stitch's Great Escape, because that's what the old ride is called. Okay. But, you know, this would make sense, and it would be a good ride.
Exactly, like finally done right. Stitch's Great Escape Part 2.
And obviously there would be tons of jokes on that ride because that little monster is hilarious.
Yep. So this brings us to our final land, and we kind of went back and forth thinking like, would they want to do a full Star Wars land? Would they want to do a full MCU land? Like, you know, which IP would they focus on? Doing both might be a little crazy in one spot. So as you saw earlier, we kind of peppered some MCU throughout the park, and we think that the final land should be Star Wars by itself. And we haven't seen Coruscant anywhere, and a futuristic city inside of a futuristic city is chef's kiss. Kind of perfect.
Yeah, we were thinking like, oh, is it going to be like Tatooine, Endor, and then we were just both like, Coruscant. Like super futuristic, like it would fit perfectly in Abu Dhabi. Star Wars is apparently extremely popular out there.
Yeah.
As I think it is like around the entire world.
Everywhere. So it's kind of a no-brainer that they get their own space.
Yeah, I think it trumps Marvel by a little bit, especially like right now.
Exactly. Very hot right now.
And within this land, we conceived two very awesome rides. The first one being themed to Order 66.
A little dark.
The escape from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Oh my god. This would be a Kuka arm ride, kind of like Monsters Unchained, Harry Potter at Universal. So you can like really just get like tossed side to side, all directions, like going up, down, make it seem like you're flying around.
Yes. I'm thinking, yes, escape from like the Jedi Temple into like the Senate chamber and stuff like that. I just like that, maybe like the Senate chamber, those pods could be your ride vehicle where like, you know, Yoda and Palpatine are fighting in there and like throwing them at each other and stuff. You could be thrown at one of those lovable characters depending on which side you align with.
Yeah, definitely like going from like room to room, seeing like different battle scenes with like the clone troopers and the Jedi, and let's not put in like the scene where like the kids get murdered. But...
Yeah, that's a little too dark, I think. And also, if you don't know what Order 66 is, it is the end of most of the Jedi, unfortunately, in a very unceremonious way.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like a sick Anakin Skywalker animatronic. Hayden Christensen just coming right at you. Yoda fighting the Emperor, like that could
be such a crazy like screen-based and animatronic scene. I think you could like kind of combine those into like something super epic. That would kind of be your finale of the ride, I think.
Yeah, the nerd in me is really loving all of this right now.
I'll be devastated if this ride that we fabricated in our mind a few days ago doesn't exist, honestly.
Yeah, like these Imagineers are gonna have endless amounts of money to work with. Like, come on,
it's right there.
It's right here for all of you.
Honestly, like Coruscant might be like maybe the most expensive like Star Wars planet to choose, just because of its city-based insanity. But
it's just such a futuristic city to make that land. Yeah, would cost absorbent amounts of money
that no other park could do except for this one. Since that first attraction we just spoke about it would be such a big ticket one, and this second one would also be such a big ticket one, we do only have like two amazing rides planned for this area of the park, and we were thinking X-Wing Simulator, kind of like Smuggler's Run, but this is when you are destroying the Death Star. So like think end of episode 4, like the culmination of everything that is Star Wars, hot on the tails of Rogue One and Andor, which just did so well. And could you imagine being in your own X-Wing pilot or your own X-Wing plane literally taking down the Death Star. I think that would be mind-blowing. You don't have a team full of people. I'm thinking you have your own kind of space.
Like individual,
Kind of like
seating,
Avatar,
so
yeah. You are, because those planes are only piloted by one person, so like you can't have a crew. That would make sense.
well, Avatar, if you look to the left and the right, you see other people.
That's okay.
But
But you know what I mean.
yeah, it's like if you're in your
You're
own X-wing,
independent.
like it's a very personal
Mm-hmm.
ride, and like Vader's chasing you, and you're trying to hit the target, and it's just
One of our dreams.
Yeah.
So this area of the park is very self-serving if you have figured out, but I also think a lot of you would like this too. So let us know if we're crazy, but let us know if you agree also.
how would you not like
How
this?
could you not? If you like Star Wars, like I feel like these are two kind of like perfect pairings.
And like both rides are kind of taking place like in the middle of the story. If you're talking about like from the prequels to Episode 6, we're not counting that later nonsense gibberish that happened.
Yeah,
Somehow Palpatine returned.
it's not. But also, I feel like that does lend its ability to like expand. You can go in either direction. If you pick the middle of the story, picking anything in the beginning or the end will make sense later.
Exactly.
So you got to plan for the future as well.
And obviously, like, this isn't going to be every ride in the park. We've only listed 14. I mean, that's a lot of rides, and these are all very, like, basically e-ticket attractions.
It's more than like Epic Universe.
That's true, yeah. But they're obviously going to need, like, fillers, like your teacups and your carousels and your kiddie coasters and whatnot.
It all doesn't have to be like IP heavy. We definitely like went that angle for our planning just because we feel like it was easier. But obviously, there's gonna be some duplicates and
Yeah, we want to see a lot of original stuff too, like non-IP driven. Like, we expect there to be some kind of haunted mansion, like an updated haunted mansion, obviously, or some kind of form of that, which we love. Of course, that's got to be in there.
absolutely.
You throw in some meet and greets, some Mickey waffles and churros, and like boom, you got a theme park.
Yeah, bippity boppity boo.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Theme park. So yeah, we're essentially doing Disney's job for them here, besides the actual engineering of the rides.
Yeah,
the logistics and technology of it, we can let them figure that out.
We did the hard part.
Yeah, we've got some solid ideas
Yeah.
here.
You're welcome.
If you take away anything from this, that Cave of Wonders ride needs to happen.
Please, and Coruscant.
And all of Coruscant.
all of Coruscant. For the inner nerds in us, please.
In which case, we will absolutely be there. On
Yeah,
Yas
we'll
Island.
figure out a way to get there.
And we will hit up 4 other amazing theme parks on the same trip.
Which is all part
All
of the
within
plan.
like half a mile away. My God.
I mean, that is why like this geographic location is obviously a no-brainer just because of the money there, the tourism there. I think we have heard that so many flights like from Europe to Asia and so many flights from Europe to Australia, like they do land there for a
And Abu
layover.
Dhabi, yeah.
Like you're already there. If you're there for like 8-12 hours, like go to one of these parks. It makes complete sense. I think that's probably where they get a lot of like traffic from. You know, people just coming through.
Yeah, definitely. And like now, there are going to be so many more people that actually have access to a Disney park.
Yeah, it's a right smack dab in the middle of the world.
Yeah, like it's not close to any other Disney park. It's actually a great location considering that, like, when so many people had to like either fly to Paris or Shanghai or Hong Kong, they now have a much closer Disney park to them. And let me tell you, there are a lot of Disney fans out there in the Middle East.
Everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And this will all be closer than the other parks that he just listed, so why not? It seems like a perfect fit.
And I gotta mention, and we're not gonna get super into this, but there's been a lot of backlash against Disney for building a park in the UAE because of human rights violations and whatnot. But you have to think about it this way. This park is not built for Americans.
Exactly.
It's-
Not everything's for you.
It's built for international Disney fans. And while there are clearly human rights violations over there, this is nothing new for Disney. Look where they have all their parks built.
They've been able to sidestep this, apparently. I mean, like, ethically or not, it doesn't seem to be an issue for them.
You think this park's gonna be built before or after we get like
Villains Land.
Villains Land and Magic Kingdom, or like Avatar at California? It's gonna be close.
I'm going to say due to human rights violations, it might be close. Because if you don't care how you build this, you can build pretty fast.
Yeah, and they do build very fast out there. Again,
Unethically.
not getting into it. But
Not getting into it.
we're here to talk about silly theme park rides, not like geopolitical
complications.
Complications. But, you go to a more serious channel for that.
And for philosophy. Sorry, we're not going to get into the ethics of it right now. All right, well, with that being said, what do you guys truly think could be like a major attraction here or a major land? Like, do you agree with what we said? Would you get excited for what we planned? And yeah, just like let us know your thoughts. It's in such early stages right now that like nothing is concrete at all. So it really is, you know, very open.
If you're new here and you love theme park shenanigans, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.